Most people don't realize how much their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making billions, pulling details about you from public records and the internet, and then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance. All backed by 24/7 US-based fraud support. Other companies might sell just credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it, together, at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/remove. Protect yourself now at aura.com/remove.
The following podcast may contain discussions supported by science that may be considered dangerous to some listeners and conspiracy theorists. Discretion is advised.
The Three Down Greencast is brought to you by Lucky Bastard Distillers, Saskatchewan's premier distillery, and by the Pile of Bones Brewing Company, brewed in the heart of Regina. Welcome to the Three Down Greencast. You are listening to the internet's only They Split Up the Band podcast. I am Joel Gasson with John Fraser, as usual. Plenty to get to as the Riders, believe it or not, actually blow out their opponents in very convincing fashion. A little bit of a...
They finally did it!
They did it. A little bit of a rough first half, but then after that, they decided to put their foot down and then just decided to steamroll the Ottawa Redblacks in a rare, thorough defeat of their opponents. So we will talk about that. We will talk a bit about does that make this team better than perhaps the one we saw last year? Some stuff we saw on offense in that game, and we're also going to talk again about a decision by Corey Mace and how it speaks louder than words when it comes to one kicker, Alex Hale. Before we get to all that, though, we have a little bit of breaking news here on this podcast, and this is not a thing we normally do. Like, John and I don't pretend to be insiders. We're not here to break news. Neither of us are really in that game. It's not really something I particularly care to put my time and effort and energy into, quite frankly.
But today, on this very here podcast, we are here to break some news.
Mm-hmm. As you may or may not know, or as if you follow a number of CFL fans, including myself and John, on various social medias, you would know that at this point that the Stadnik Invitational Golf Thingy, or the big event that they're calling it this year, because there's constant golf thingies going on all the time right now. Miniature golf thingies, I guess, if this is the big golf thingy. Coming up here in Regina in a couple weeks, the Saturday of Labor Day weekend is when the event goes down. Still looking for sponsors, so if you want to sponsor me, John, anyone else that will be golfing that day, if Riders in-game host Mark Johnson shows up, I would suggest not sponsoring him because you're not going to be giving a lot of money.
No, in fairness, though, because now, and I love how the guys did this.
True.
Like,
he hasn't played, played since they changed the rules. That's true.
No, so, like, me and fellow curling teammate, friend of the program, Luke Suretsky, we went out and just did a quick two-man scramble at the Willows, right? So, because we're also preparing for another event where, you know, you and I, maybe we'll be breaking up the band as well. So we went out and I
established band there, though, in that sense.
That's fair. If anything, the established band is me and Luke because we've been in this event for several years. So Luke and I went out and collectively had a very good round and shot a -1 doing a two-man scramble. And that is my highest donation round so far. Mm-hmm. So, like, if you sponsor Mark or anybody that's legitimately good, you may still come up with a large donation because they have now skewed the system that both good and bad golfers will. And I really feel like that with my special brand of chaos golf, that I'm probably as likely on a hole to birdie as I am to triple bogey. I feel like it could be a very large donation from yours truly at any given moment.
Absolutely. But yes, we received word from Joe, who has appeared on this podcast, and we asked him one question, and he talked for 20 minutes.
Made our jobs real easy that day.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. Old radio stuff, you love when that happens. You're just like, okay, cool.
Oh God,
go.
Yes. Unless you're trying to clip it, then it's the worst.
It absolutely is. But yeah, we don't know. I actually don't know all the teams, but I was informed by one Jonathan Q. Fraser that we are not going to be on the same team this year. Things could change, but at this moment in time, the co-hosts of this podcast will be facing off against each other, even though John's still technically a multi-time winner of the Colonel because it was still his team last year, just with Greg added because he wasn't there. So
fair.
There's a whole thing going on here anyway.
A whole custody battle, really.
Yeah,
I mean, technicalities, right? I was like the fifth. Like, I would be in the group photo, but not sweaty.
Yeah. And then it's like if there was some weird curling situation where you were replaced for a year and then someone else decided that you just can't come back and join our team again. That's kind of what happened.
I'm kind of feeling like the Brendan Botcher of the event suddenly. That you guys, apparently I'm not allowed to come back until you lose or something.
Maybe. Well, and here's the real kicker. The organizers, who obviously covet the Colonel and have yet to win the Colonel, because of myself, in part John Fraser, also Greg McCullough, Glenn Chernick, and some of the other guys, have decided that they're going to put a top 5 golfer at this event, shall we say, at minimum, on their team now. So Joe,
Touché.
Dave, and allegedly Vince, who have, depending on how his shoulder is feeling, are all going to be on the same team. And I'm like, oh, I see what's going on here. I see. Joe finally wants to win the thing, and he's just going to stack the deck in his favor. I see how this is going now. Next thing you know, Mark's going to show up, and he's also going to be on that team. And
you
then
know what?
Dave's nephew's going to show up. He's also going to be on that team, and then suddenly, I guess Dave may be out, and it'll just be Joe.
Joe, me, Dave's nephew, and Mark. Yeah. Boom, done. They just want to see the fireworks as the top 3 guys kind of go at each other, right?
Yeah.
And now, like, it's funny. Normally, I don't feel any pressure coming into the Stadneck. I like to play good golf, as we all do, and I've been golfing a lot more this year, so my bar for good golf is a little bit higher than it's been in past years, but now I'm like, okay, I'm being hand-selected to be, like... And again, just to put this in perspective of like how not great the golf is at this event, I could lay a claim to being a top 3. Okay, like yeah. I'm like a 14 handicap. Nice, yes. I appreciate it. No, but that also is it. It's almost like a backhanded compliment. It's like, yeah, John, you're a top 3 to 5 golfer at this event. Okay, great. Oh boy. Right? It's one of the few golf fields I can enter and be like, yeah, I'm decent at this. So I now feel maybe there's some pressure to perform to the level that is expected from our organizers and from the friends of the show, but I'm here for that pressure.
But here's the flip side of that. You felt some little pressure in that tournament before, and you've gotten in your head, and I've smacked it out of you.
Oh, yes, that's fair.
Then you go on the tear. I'm not going to be there to stop you this time. If anything, I'm going to be texting you every 10 minutes being like, so, sucking yet? Do you suck? Keep thinking about it some more.
That is fair.
Think more. Keep thinking.
No, that is fair, because that is what led us to the Stadneck victory, was I was in my head, and then you just said, you basically, you didn't actually hit me. You verbally bitch slapped me. No. And you're like, man, like, just, you're good. Stop thinking about it. And
just grip and rip. Just shut up.
there was one round as well that we played with our friend and our curling teammate Jay Price, and I was like 10 over on the front night at Holiday Park, and I should not be 10 over on the front night at Holiday Park. And he looked at me. He went, "Just shut the fuck up and hit the ball." And I went 2 over on the way tougher back down at Holiday Park. I'm like, okay, so Dave, Joe, Vince. Although maybe if Vince can't play, maybe he'll be my personal shut the fuck up and swing guy.
Maybe.
All right.
I've also pitched the idea of designated putter, because he's got a bum shoulder apparently, so like the whole swing thing is obviously tough, but you know he can get out there and putt a bit, maybe.
Put it this way: if I'm in contention for the Stadneck, I will be doing my own putting. Thank you very much.
You can putt for someone else too, like Dave, anyone.
But
Joe,
if
matter. Yeah.
But also throwing it out there.
Or just let him drop a ball on the green somewhere. He has to like putt from the furthest spot you can on the green. That's where he goes.
Oh, I like that. And then Vince would have an exponentially high donation compared to everybody else, because like he's probably at worst 3-putting.
Yeah. And you can come up with some kind of formula of like the average shots it took all of you to get there is kind of could be what he's at or something, or just putt from there, whatever, doesn't matter.
Right, just putt from there, and we'll play it like mini golf, where like 2 is a par and 3.
Yeah, every hole is a par 3 for Vince.
We are on to something. I personally like Vince as my Vince or Dave. I mean, Dave's also a very calming guy, so I know Joe and Dave typically go together, but I might need that that smiling bright grin of Dave Stadnik whenever, because I feel like
as he breaks out a basket of cookies.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, the only way I'm allowed to go to this is because of the cookies. That is part of my appearance agreement, is that I bring cookies home for my wife and children.
Yeah,
not for the good or anything, not for anything, not any of that. It's literally, you can go if you bring us home some of Dave's cookies. Mm-hmm. So either way, I look forward to. So now, again, would this make me a 3-time Colonel champion, being the alternate last year, or like, do you have it? Like, how does this work?
I don't know. To be
like,
honest,
did I vacate the belt when I left? But again, it's kind of like curling, right? Because we literally had the exact. You guys literally had the exact
team
same.
We're still the same. So
exactly.
So the team is a multi-time champion, but I guess in a sense you are not, because now you are on another team.
Well, then,
you're a multi-time champion, but you're not defending, I guess we'll say.
Oh, okay. I like this. So it's basically it's the Mike McEwen Colton Flash thing. Okay. All right, now that we have used curling to figure it out, I'm surprised that didn't turn to wrestling. I know, okay, this time next week, we cut a promo on each other.
Oh, God.
Because everything is wrestling, okay? And we could, like, build up. This is like, the Stadnek is our WrestleMania. So it can be like every episode of the podcast, the rivalry gets hotter and hotter. And not in the heated rivalry way.
No.
Because we might have to share a bed in BC here, so I'm just saying, like, let's lay the ground rules. The rivalry get hot, but it is not heated rivalry, if you will. So I think we reassemble next week, talk about potentially another Ryder W, and we cut promos on each other. And now we don't have to think about opens for the next 3 weeks either.
We'll see. We'll see how that goes. I would have to think a lot about that, and I don't know if that's quite up my alley, but we'll see.
That's fair.
We'll see how that goes.
I'm cutting a promo on you next week.
Can I bring in Paul Heyman to do it for me? Because I think I would need someone on the mic for me, I think, if I was a wrestler.
Oh, okay. Let's, you know what? I bet you could find somebody to cut a pretty good promo.
Yeah.
Dan Q. Plaster?
Maybe. Dan's kind of the silent type too, I think, but yeah.
That's fair. You're both the strong, silent, sexy types. So, okay, I'll leave that with you, because I will cut my own promo. I am like John Cena. I can cut my own promos. I don't need no manager. Just like I can cut you down at the Stadnik and bring back the Colonel. I'll tell you what, Mean Gene. There we go. Too bad my body is made of duct tape and hope, or I think I could have just made it as a low-level pro wrestler.
There's always time. There's always hope. You never know. There's some pretty bad independent wrestling out there.
Gas, I tore a groin jumping into a pool.
So?
I ended my curling season, like, almost prematurely by jumping into a pool. In fact, now that the pool is...
Just be a really bad... Be like the very, like... Do like big man wrestling, but you're short. That'd be your gimmick.
That I try to choke slam somebody.
You think you're like the Big Show or something, but you're only whatever, right?
Hey, it's a big bad show tonight. Yeah, I like it about my entrance music. Okay, well, I found my entrance music for a first round of golf here, so let me put that in a Google Drive spreadsheet, and away we go.
Away they went were the Saskatchewan Roughriders, as they laid the wood to the Ottawa Redblacks. I think that's fair to say.
Oh, yeah, they put them through a table.
This past week, absolutely, they did. They left no doubt who the winner in that one was, as Jim Ross was screaming that the Redblacks have a family. So we will talk about that game and a whole lot more, but always, John, for Lucky Bastard Distillers, what is in the glass this week?
So speaking of our BC trip, this is now me trying to suck up to our sponsors, mostly Bryce Perkins, to maybe provide some extra free bottles for our BC trip coming up in a month. So we are once again,
I can tell you
Bryce,
he's on a cruise in the Caribbean somewhere right now, so he's definitely not listening.
That's funny because we were actually texting about the Briar today. Like it is that important that no, we actually were because it's one of those events that I'm like, I'm torn. I'm like, I feel like I'll find a way in, but like if I want to sit with like you and Jenny and Bryce and Hannah, I have to buy my way in. And to me, that is going to be worth it. So I was waiting for Bryce to get back to me on how much I would owe him, and he was giving me the silent treatment, so I feel way better and less awkward that he's actually on a honeymoon. But for Bryce's honeymoon, and eventually sucking. Well, I also texted him like, hey man, like, you know, I didn't ask about a bottle this month, which is the sponsorship. I'm like, hey, like, I'm going to my 40th trip. Like, what are the odds you could rustle up a couple for the boys? And also left me on red. So I'm very glad to hear my own anxieties and fears are he's just on a honeymoon on a cruise ship in the Bahamas. But either way, still sucking up to Bryce. We're going with the same combo as last week. The Saskatoon Berry Iced Tea, the perfect summer drink, trust me. And a big old glass of LB vodka with some LB bitters and a big old slice of lemon. Gotta get that vitamin C in you, Gas.
Mm-hmm. For me, I guess we're almost kind of doing the same thing 2 weeks in a row.
Oh, wow.
Though instead of the black wheat blueberry ale, I'm making you jealous by having a Lake of the Woods
you bastard!
Forgotten Lake blueberry ale. And I will say it's definitely, I prefer it to the black wheat. The black wheat is much more of a subtle, like light blueberry. This is like blueberry in the face, right? So.
Oh, it is blueberry and 7% booze in the face. So,
I mean,
you
the
said
black
you weren't
wheat
going
was still 6 point something, so like it was still up there. But yeah.
So this is like the starting again, like any good wrestling feud, just like our feud on the golf course that leads with like us facing off while Saliva or Nickelback plays in explosive graphics.
My Way. Come on, someone's got to make the My Way montage.
Oh my god, yes. The only downside is there's like one photo of the two of us together over our decade plus of friendship. There would
just be the song. There'd be nothing else really happening. Just like they'd find stock images of people golfing, and that's all they would be able to use.
They'd find my headshot from the dealership, your headshot from 3 Down Nation, the photo of us together at the Stadneck, and that's about all we got. But I feel like this is the first blow across the bow. You with the Lake of the Woods Blueberry Ale. You also texted me the other night enjoying some Lake of the Woods Nautical Disaster, which, although it is a like top 3 beer of all time for me, I drank so much of it during my vacation. I'm like, no, I think I'm good on this one. I think I am good on the Nautical Disaster.
Fair enough. The Saskatchewan Roughriders were good on Friday night at Mosaic Stadium. Good. I had to remember what freaking day that game was on. It feels like a while ago at this point. This is what happens when you just do this for however long we've been doing this, and I just kind of, my memory's going. I forget things. It is what it is at this point. That's
fair. As soon as we record like a full like weekend after a game, I feel the same way.
We used to be a lot better. We used to, like, for the longest time, because of like curling and different things happening, like we're not at that point of the year yet, but Tuesdays or Wednesdays will probably still work just fine for me. It was very easy when we did Sunday nights for the longest time.
100%. And now I went out and I bought a pool, so there's that. So I'm in the pool a lot of Sunday nights, and now it's like as the kids get older, like Sunday night it was like a sleepover over here, so like I couldn't. Like it makes it more difficult as one gets older. But yes, eventually we will find a regular record night, and maybe our listenership will go.
I think that's part of our thing. You just don't know when this podcast is going to come out.
Just bam! All of a sudden it's there
it is.
Dave. Boom, Dave, Joe, Grandpa Ted, they're able to listen to it.
Absolutely.
Actually, we can partially blame Grandpa Ted for having a grandson as to why we couldn't record on Sunday, as Grandpa Ted's grandson was over here for the sleepover. So, Grandpa Ted, that's on you for having not a great grandson, but a great grandson. Grandson.
Don't age the guy that badly yet, please.
Oh, shit.
You drink enough Malort, though. I mean, you never know.
I believe it or not, as much as like I just absorb all the booze in my house, I still have Malort.
I believe that one. Out of everything,
Yeah, that is
like, I believe that because I'm with you. I'm not one of those people, like, there's people that have like bottles of liquor in their house that are from like 20 years ago or 10 years ago. It's like, no. That's why I keep minimal amounts of everything on hand. I don't buy a lot of like, oh, this looks cool, because I'm like, yeah, I'll probably just drink it, so I don't want to do that.
and that's exactly like I've just like I'm worried that like the place I go for coffee every morning, they just kind of know my order now. I'm getting worried because it's almost consistently Tuesday nights I'm in buying some vodka from the liquor store by Dodge City. I'm like, okay, there's a bit of a trend here because again, Wednesday being my day off and all, but.
Yeah, don't worry. If you're only doing it weekly, as someone who works at a liquor store, I can promise you're still ahead of a lot of people. So
okay, good.
Don't worry if you're doing.
I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
I was getting a little weekly to 10-day unless it's like, oh, I'm grabbing a couple beers because I'm out of beer. So okay, that makes me feel a little bit better, Gas. Thank you.
Rider fans, of course, as we segue back into football, feeling better as they did it.
Are they ever?
They did it. We talked about this last week.
My
I think
God.
Both of us anticipated. And to be fair, for about half the game, it sure felt like the Riders were going to have one of those games where they made life much more difficult than it had to be. The first half, they were not good. Trevor Harris especially was really bad in the first half. Balls were missed. Like, it was just, he couldn't read what he was seeing. There's just a lot of weird things going on in that first half. Luckily for them, they're playing the Ottawa Redblacks, and weird things kind of happen back. And
that's true.
I will say, though, if they don't drop that pick six right at the half, or just before the half, Ottawa may have won that football game. It's entirely possible, though, that the Riders could have said, okay, enough of this, and come out in the second half and still put their foot down. We'll obviously never know, but I'm sure that would have made a huge difference in that game. But, yeah, I mean, we talked about it. We've been waiting for this moment forever. We can talk about the Hamilton game. I will give them the credit for blowing out the Hamilton Tiger Cats. It took them about 55 minutes to get there in that game.
But they still did it.
They still did it, but it took them 55 minutes. So that one was a technical blowout. This one was a full-on actual blowout, because once that second half started, they got the opening drive touchdown. The Redblacks kind of answered back, but then after that the Redblacks had nothing. They had no response to anything.
Most people don't realize how much their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making billions, pulling details about you from public records and the internet, and then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance. All backed by 24/7 US-based fraud support. Other companies might sell just credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it, together, at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/remove. Protect yourself now at aura.com/remove.
After that,
Is it Shutdown Fullcast that came up with the term Death Star mode?
possibly, I don't know.
I don't know who came up with the term Death Star mode, but that's exactly what the second half was. And again, you mentioned the drop pick six.
Yeah.
The other moment, I think, is, and I meant to text you about this, but I was in the pool. But I meant to text you about this, was the commentators, Dave and Luke. By the way, both broadcasts completely on point for that Rider game. I love Rod and Luke Wilson, and we all know we love Dave and Luke around here, right? So I alternated between the two, but somebody mentioned, they're like, oh yeah, at the Ottawa 49 right before the half, oh yeah, they'll send Alex Hale out for a 56-yard try here before the half, and to me that goes poor. There's no way that goes correctly.
No, we'll talk about it in a minute. I mean, Corey Mace had a chance at a 49-yarder earlier in the half that he didn't take, so there's no chance he would have taken that one.
Right, but still, if he could send out there in that spot, I feel it ends poorly, and I think it just goes very, very badly for the Riders in the second half. Instead, they converted along second down, they drive the field, touchdown, boom, right before halftime, and then they came out in proverbial Death Star mode. Death Star mode being, we're gonna beat you in every single way, we're gonna blow you up, and this is the first time, really, in the Corey Mace era that they have gone Death Star mode.
It feels like, and I mean, I'm not very good at remembering games, so maybe there's been the odd one sprinkled throughout, but for the most part, yeah, I think it's the first time where I've gone into a game, and I know Belton Johnson on CJME and some of the other guys were sitting there like, oh, this is a game they should blow them. Like, I don't disagree, but this is not what they do. This is not what they do.
No, they play down to a degree. They come out with a win. They find a way to come out with a win.
I never once thought they were going to lose that game. But I was like, yeah, this could be more dicey than people expect.
Well, you and I both agreed that they were probably going to cover, right? Like, or they weren't going to cover. Like, that's what our expectation was that Ottawa was going to cover the spread because Saskatchewan just doesn't put teams away, and instead they greatly proved us wrong. And far too often we've seen this team, Corey Mace, Dickinson, whoever's coaching, with an opportunity, they're playing down to somebody's level and they don't really get into gear. And next thing you know, you win an ugly one, right? So it was great to see this team go, okay, we're not playing great. They came out at half, they made some changes, and they went Death Star mode. By the way, the only other game I could find close to Death Star mode was a 39-8 win over BC back in late 2024. But again, late season games when a team's already going to the playoffs don't really count. So I'll continue this research as we continue talking.
So it begs the question then, is this team better than the version we saw last year? And I think there's two different ways to look at it. I think obviously if you want to look just pure talent and ability, defensively the answer is obviously no. Yes. Offensively the answer may be yes. I think overall the answer may be yes. And I know they won a Grey Cup last year, and they, we will see what happens this year. But, this kind of thing matters in terms of how good a team is. You got to be able to put your opponents away. You got to be able to put your foot down. You got to be able to do all these things. And they found a way finally to do it. And this was probably one of the more impressive wins I've seen for them because of that. And to me, actually blowing out the Ottawa Redblacks in this game, to me, says a lot more about this team than, things that would have worried me had they not blown them out. Because had they not blown them out, I know there may have been some people that there would have been talk about, is this team actually that good? We had these conversations about this team last year. And this would have been this whole thing, and I would have been like, yeah, it's just who they are. It's just who they are at this point. And now that they actually came out and beat the shit out of someone, I'm like, whoa, okay. Maybe the ability isn't quite what this team was it was last year, but maybe the mental side of this team is better this year than it was last year.
Well, and they did it without 3 starters on offense.
Yeah. 3 legit superstars on offense.
Exactly.
And
you did
defense,
it without AJ.
Javon Campbell and Roland Milligan Jr. are also gone up for potentially the rest of the year even. So
Well, and I always feel like to go Death Star mode, to put somebody truly away, your offense has to click.
Yeah.
Right? Your defense can win you football games, but they're not going to put points on the board, right? So to go Death Star mode in that second half without AJ, without MLS, without KSB, and where the hell do they keep finding these receivers? Like Jeremy O'Day should just open up a receiver consulting firm.
Yeah. In fairness, I think there is certainly a fit and a system that is working here, and a quarterback who is unafraid to throw the ball at literally anyone.
There
are aspects to this that certainly help, but yes, Jeremy O'Day and his crew deserve a ton of credit, especially for the just pure volume of Canadian receivers. They find who can contribute.
Deshaun Mims coming out of nowhere. Great story. His dad played for the Riders, right? All of a sudden, he's got a
second-round pick as well. He's a guy, just comes in. We hadn't really talked about him much this year. The draft guys kind of liked him, and here we go. Both of them, and understandably, in their first career starts, I think felt a little fish out of water in that first half. But then I think by that time the second half rolled around, they're like, okay, we're just playing football, and you notice that difference with them.
They got hit a few times. Yeah. I talked to anybody that plays football. You get hit a few times, and it just settles in like any other game. Johnny Johnson III, that legitimately sounds like a made-up name in Ken Griffey Jr. baseball. I've joked about it many
times that I hope his middle name is Jonathan or something.
Or Jinglehammer Schmidt, right? Or Jacob Jimmelhammer Schmidt, I guess. But it just, that legitimately looks up. Remember the Ken Griffey Jr. baseball on the Super Nintendo that they did? Yes. The only player that had the license
game
to.
Of all time. Love that game.
Oh, great game. The only game they had the license to was Ken Griffey Jr., not the rest of the MLBPA. So there were names like Johnny Johnson III. You're like, okay, that's not a real name.
The best part of it was like they were all named for other players, but you knew who they were trying to be.
Well, it's like all those years of Barry Bonds not being in all the games, and they just had some big guy wearing 25 that played for San Francisco. So I feel like Johnny Johnson III is a real human being now. But it was just, it's wild to see.
Releasing Jalen Johnson helps with that a little bit. Because before it was like, okay, there's a lot of Johnsons here. But the fact that there was a Johnny Johnson and a Jalen Johnson is like, okay, this is a little weird.
Now, even I feel like a sports team can always have too many Johnsons just for the sake of the play-by-play guys. But yeah, it was wild seeing these under-heralded guys. And you said, too, a lot of the credit goes to Trevor Harris. Mm. That man's the guy that goes out there and sees, like, obviously he's got his favorite. Keyshawn Johnson was targeted 14 times as he should.
Yeah, and like Trevor Harris, to his credit, generally doesn't play favorites. He's like, okay, you're open, I'm going to throw it. But that's when he has Keon Schaefer-Baker and Sam Emelis and these guys in the lineup. So, like, understandably in that game, it's why he targeted Keyshawn as much as he did. Because it's like, well, yeah. And the fact that the Redblacks didn't go Bill Belichick and be like, okay, let's make sure someone else other than Keyshawn Johnson beats us is malpractice.
Well, and I think that might be what happened in the second half, because all of a sudden Johnny Johnson came out of nowhere and got hot. Like, you could tell they were starting to take away Keyshawn, then Johnny, okay, boom. Deshaun Mims, boom. All of a sudden he's seeing balls, right? And that's just the beauty of Trevor Harris. And
the system itself, like, they don't run deep, very complicated routes. There's not a whole lot going on. It's like just kind of, okay, get a little bit downfield and get open. It's basically all it comes down to. And then Trevor has to throw like a 5 to 6 yard pass, and the guys make it happen. That's kind of the base of the offense. Like Trevor Harris, to his credit, yeah, he's making the plays, he's making the reads, he's very fast and great at doing that, but he doesn't have to throw a lot of difficult footballs.
No, and he creates, like, he does such a good job, and this was a couple points that Luke Wilson made on the broadcast, which, again, the guy on social media, I could take him or leave him, but as a color commentator in a football game, like,
He's incredibly. He's pretty good in the moment, and he's certainly much better at doing that than that weird sideline thing they had last year.
Oh, 100%. It, like, just listening to a guy that knows ball break down plays and mix in some humor and stuff, I'm all for it. And he brought up a really good point. You see, like, the veteran things that Trevor Harris does. Like, he'll look to his left the entire way, knowing he's going deep up the middle, and wait for the safety to go, and then boom, it's out. And even Luke pointed out on the broadcast, I was watching on TV by the second half, after also listening to the other Luke in the first half. Wilson was pointing out on the broadcast that it seemed like, and again, we don't pretend to be football experts, we just really love the game, but they went no huddle a lot in that second half because basically Trevor Harris had a look that he liked defensively and just went, let's just exploit this. Let's not give them time to change.
No, and that's the beauty of the running 35-second play clock, is you can do that now. Before, you could never do that because there would be substitutions, there'd be all kinds of things going on, and it would be hard to take advantage of that. And it's also, so you can take advantage of Ottawa, you can take advantage of just any defensive set that you like, you can take advantage of a team that is trying to figure out what they're doing defensively after firing their defensive coordinator. And yeah, it's also a certain level of trust now that Trevor Harris and Mark Mueller are going to have in each other, it working in their third year together, where Trevor can be like, hey, I know what we're doing, I know what you're going to want in this spot, basically just go let me do it and get out of my way. And that's what happened in that second half.
And that was exactly it, right? And then meanwhile, you mix all that in with getting you down the field, and now 10-yard, like, first and goal from wherever.
Yeah.
It's Tommy Stevens time, and you know it's going in. Like, the guy's got to buy another 3 dozen donuts.
Yeah. It's going to hurt his bottom line.
Regina Donut Shops, partner with your guy. Like, if I'm Tommy Stevens, I do an hour of autographs and appearances and glad handing at whatever donut shop just gives me 3 dozen to give out to the boys.
Yeah, because, I mean, frankly, there may not be a guy who's more popular in Saskatchewan right now than Tommy Stevens.
As we were talking about Dave Stadnick, his daughter has a number 17 Stevens jersey. Outside of me on a wager getting a Ryan Dinwiddie jersey, and I'm assuming friend of the program Dan Plaster doing much the same, I can't think of other people that have the backup or third string quarterback's jerseys proudly being worn.
Probably not. No. Not unless you're a family or some connection or something, but yeah.
I mean, it's still not Sergio on the back of a jersey, but we're getting close. We're getting close there, guys.
No, and like, This is the thing. Like, there's conversations around, how much do people care about this guy? Like, how much of a story is he really? And I'm like, well, number one, he's on pace to set the all-time touchdown record in a single season. So that's something worth talking about, whether you like talking about Tommy Stevens or not. But also, like, this is just, and this comes back, and I've seen the comparisons to Chris Treveler, and it's basically the same thing. Like,
right.
Chris Treveler is a little bit better of a pure quarterback than Tommy Stevens is, despite what Corey Mace wants to say.
Tommy Stevens ain't getting an NFL look anytime soon.
No, well, he was drafted as a tight end, but yeah, and this shows, like, it comes down to, okay, yes, you have to be good at the game of football. You have to produce something on the field for people to, like, catch interest in you and like you. The bar isn't super high. Like, you don't have to be a superstar. You don't have to be that good to get people's attention. But people gravitate to the players who show some personality and have some fun. And we saw that in this game. Like, we've been getting glimpses of Tommy Stevens. You can tell he's riding this wave of momentum right now on a personal level that's building for him. But then when we saw after his second touchdown, when he grabbed those water bottles and smashed them together, because they play the Stone Cold Steve Austin music, and I was like, oh yeah, here we go. This guy's about to take. They're strapping a rocket ship to him.
He's so over. He is so over.
He's incredibly over, and the funny thing is, he gets to be incredibly over while not being super great at his job. So he's essentially Danhausen. Like, we're talking about, like, the pure baseline of the job, right? In professional wrestling, the pure baseline of the job is wrestling in the ring, right?
Yes. Right.
Danhausen is perhaps the most over superstar in WWE right now. If you don't know him, he's like a kind of smallish guy, dresses a bit like a vampire, very nice, very evil, but he's hilarious. He's a great character. He's gotten himself organically over, mostly thanks to attaching himself to the New York Knicks on the way to them winning the NBA championship.
So as sports fans, you've that yes. guy, that vampire-looking guy, that's Danhausen, right?
So he's not super great he's fine. He's passable in the ring. But he's super over because of everything else. Tommy Stevens, we can all say, is not a great natural quarterback, but he's getting himself over with everything else.
100%. He will punch you in the face. His, like, faux beer can celebration. What I want to see, if the Riders win, I'd even say at Labor Day, I would love to see him smash those cans together in celebration. Again, not during the game. But, like, I want to see a little, like, Tommy Stevens a la Brett Lowther going to Pill Place. Let's see a Stone Cold celebration and prove once again everything is wrestling.
Everything is wrestling. If everything is wrestling, then someone who is not over right now and dealing with a lot of heat would be Alex Hale.
Oh, boy.
We're going to talk about him again because, yeah, we kind of have to. Yes, he made all his kicks. All the kicks he was asked to make, he made them all. He didn't miss any of them. But to me, the moment of the game, sort of the bad side of things for the Riders in that game was still a decision by Corey Mace not to use Alex Hale.
Yes.
And I'm not saying I disagree with him not sending Alex Hale out in that moment. I disagree with how he handled it. We can get into that, but Corey Mace can come out here and he can talk as much as he wants about how he believes in Alex Hale and he trusts Alex Hale and he's their guy. And they have an opportunity for a 49-yard field goal and they don't take it. Now, it was 3rd and 3 or 2 or whatever it was. In my opinion, they were pretty much in go range regardless. But that being said, there are 8 other head coaches in this league who would trust their kicker to kick a 49-yard field goal. Anything 50 or under is an automatic. You should go for that. You should trust your kicker to make that kick if you want in that moment. And Corey Mace obviously did not. He chose to punt for whatever reason. And the Redblacks ended up scoring a touchdown off all that because it took some weird penalty stuff that happened after that to get there. But they got there. The football gods work in mysterious ways sometimes, but they got there. And, yeah.
I would argue not just the 8 other CFL coaches. You're probably
32 NFL head coaches, probably
8 to 10 U Sports coaches.
At least 30 NCAA coaches these days because college cookers aren't as bad as they used to be.
Yeah, it's I know. They used to be such a running joke, and I used to kind of enjoy it, but that's how little faith. Now, again, I think Corey Mace should have went for it on 3rd down there. If you're don't punt there. No. Don't punt from that gray zone. If you don't trust your kicker, go for it. But this game, and I alluded to it earlier, that had right before the half had Hale come out and missed, and God forbid given up another long return, because that's highly likely on long missed field goals, I feel like he could have bought his bus ticket out of Regina right then and there, right? Like, this game felt to me like the punt being very conservative. This is almost like okay, you settle down, you go out there, you make a couple kicks, you have a good game, and we see what you're going to bring next week. Like, this very much had the make it easy for him game, and then see what happens when they play a non-divisional opponent that they should blow out of the water again next week. So I feel like Corey Mace, he's saying, oh, Alex Hale's my guy. I felt like this game he protected Hale a little bit.
And to be fair, I don't expect Corey Mace to say anything else publicly. Like, whether what he believes in or not, whether he actually believes it or not is another question. But yeah,
if the guys
I don't expect him to
believe
come out here and say, oh yeah, this guy sucks, but we're going to keep him around because we want the extra American on the roster. Like
that's right. And the funniest thing
as much
is
I would appreciate it from a content perspective, he's never actually going to do that.
No, of course not, right? Even the great Jamie Nye could not get him to say that. But it does show that, and I find it funny that everybody's talking about, when they cut the other Johnson, the James Johnson, everybody's like, oh,
Jalen.
Half the fan base was like, oh, Geno Lewis is coming.
No.
And the other half is like, oh, thank God we're getting a kicker.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in what world do you cut an American receiver because there's another, superstar American receiver out there, and the fan base goes, oh, please give us a kicker. Like, that's
when you have Jeremy O'Day as your GM and he just finds receivers, you don't need to sign Geno Smith.
Of course you don't need to, right? But he does need to find a way to get a kicker, because if not, it's going to be real bad times. At some point, you're not going to go Death Star mode of the Ottawa Redblacks. You're going to need a game-winning kick, and Hale ain't that guy.
No, he's not. He's out of all the starting kickers in the league, he's got by far the worst percentage. It's like not even close.
Well, and the funny thing is he's got the worst percentage while, like, being sheltered.
Yeah.
Like, he's kicking 73.7%, and we have seen now 3 weeks in a row Corey Mace.
He doesn't make a lot over 40. He does have a season long of 48, but generally anything over 45, Corey just doesn't ask him to do it.
They're not even attempting it. It's not like you're looking at a guy like Sergio that's a bit down because they expect him to kick 60-yard bombs all the time because Mike O'Shea is the most conservative coach out there these days, right? Like, you're not seeing the guy trying a bunch of bombs and missing them. You're seeing the guy that's being sheltered that's still, like, they're not trying a 49-yard field goal because they know he sucks. And if there's one... Again, there's only one negative thing to me that came out of this blowout of Ottawa. It's the fact that they absolutely clearly do not trust Alex Hale no matter what they say.
Yeah, it's beyond clear at this point. And I don't know if Dawson Hodge is the answer. Despite his great last name, as John Hodge would think anyway.
Yes.
I don't see the historical data for him. Like, in college, he's kind of around the same level Alex Hale is right now. And it's like, okay, if you're kind of a mid-70s kicker in college, I don't think you're suddenly going to crack 80 in the pros. So
it's almost like they need a position like, again, when Winnipeg went out and got Sergio back.
Yep.
Right? Like, it's almost like they need to find a team that's out of the playoffs. But again, because the playoff chase is going to be so close, you need to find...
Well, the Ottawa Redblacks are pretty much out of it. They have two kickers.
Do they seriously... Do you go get Brett Lauther?
I would consider
Do you bring him back? We're sorry, Brett. Come on.
Or at least Lewis Ward. Like, he's there, too. I know he missed a cover in that game, but...
And he's only kicked from 4, and he had a shitty year last year, so... I don't know. You basically, okay,
it would how incredible of a story would it be if they trade for Brett Lauther and he comes in here and kicks the lights out?
I would love that, because not once have we ever suggested that Brett's not a great guy. By all accounts, everybody loves him. It's just, he was kind of dog shit last year. But now that we've had, it's like, Alex Hale's the ultimate, the grass is not always greener. Right? Brett Lauther, generally pretty good. Real bad last year. Even we were like, get rid of him, you need a real kicker. Then Alex Hale shows up and we're like, Brett, please come back, I've changed.
Most people don't realize how much their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making billions, pulling details about you from public records and the internet, and then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance. All backed by 24/7 US-based fraud support. Other companies might sell just credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it, together, at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/remove. Protect yourself now at aura.com/remove.